tonight, a plan to perform more surgeries in Carbonear.
The government announced plans today to expand the services at the OR in Carbonear. The idea is to chip away at the backlog for those people in the province who are waiting on joint replacement surgeries. More on that coming up.
We want to make sure that motorists understand that they should use a little more patience.
Using crosswalks, communicating with drivers, ensuring that you have that level of eye contact.
The streets will be busy tomorrow with students heading back to class. The town of CBS and the RNC caution motorists to be on the lookout for little ones.
Lots of love, everyone's having a good time, the vibes are very good.
Just believe in yourself, you can believe and you can achieve.
A lot of hot dogs were devoured in Kitty Vitty on the holiday Monday. We'll hear from the contest champ.
This is CBC Here and Now.
Good evening and welcome to Here and Now. We begin with healthcare and an expansion of services in Carbonear's operating rooms. A new program promises patients faster access to orthopedic surgery. Here and Now, Sarah Blackmore reports.
The expansion is meant to help with the backlog of people waiting for surgeries, like hip and knee replacements. The Premier says the services should be ready to go by the end of the month and that staffing is already sorted out.
We now have the appropriate resources, personnel, and technical equipment required to start on September 25th.
Both the backlog for these surgeries as well as new waitlist demand are growing, a waitlist that Fury says is key when it comes to federal funding.
The wait list is something that we are going to be measured on. The federal funding is attached to. We had to make sure that we're prudent and efficient and responsive to that growing demand.
This growing demand is now estimated at over 2,100 people in the eastern part of the province, according to Dr. Will Moores. He says every new site for these surgeries will help ease the burden on the healthcare system.
The other thing that this Carbonear expansion represents is really we're at a plateau now because we've been expanding our wait list for a number of years. With the outpatient joints in the St. Anthony, we're just about to level off, so Carbonear will help that, and if we can get to the full usage of the potential OR time here, that's going to allow us to start working on the backlog.
The province says that this expansion in Carbonear will eventually tackle 200 to 300 new joint replacements per year. That's in addition to the estimated 140 done by the new traveling orthopedic program in St. Anthony.
We had the surgical backlog task force looking at how we can reduce the wait times for surgeries in the province. There were 32 recommendations. Very pleased to say that all 32 recommendations will be put in place.
Each expansion in a new town, each traveling clinic, all pieces of the puzzle that the government says is helping those waiting in pain at home. And while Carbonear received the news today, the government says they have plans to expand more ORs across the province. The next stop, Gander. Sarah Blackmore, CBC News, Carbonear.
The RCMP in Shahidjit believe yesterday's fire at the Band Council office was set intentionally. Police say the fire at the Innu First Nation Band Council office is a case of suspected arson. The fire is believed to have started around 5:30 yesterday morning. Police say no one was inside the building at the time of the fire and the structure was destroyed. Provincial fire services have also been engaged in the investigation. One resident in the community says the building was important to the area.
The Band Council office is a very reliable resource of income for people in Shahidjit because a lot of the operations are controlled by the office there, and that operations that continue in Shahidjit, such as the services and the public works, the social health, and amongst other titles. There's many people impacted by this, especially our younger generations.
Well, lots of students in the province are packing up their book bags and picking out their first day outfits tonight. Tomorrow is the first day of school for most, and the Royal Newfoundland Constabulary, along with the town of Conception Bay South, want everybody to be ready, so they're sharing some safety tips.
We think it's really important to remind people when they go out that there are people out on the roads tomorrow that are doing things that they don't traditionally do. And they're parents of young children bringing their children to school for the very first time. And that can be a big experience. And of course, with a lot of traffic on the road tomorrow, it exacerbates their efforts a little bit. So we want to make sure that motorists understand that they should use a little more patience, a little more time in the morning to get ready to come, understanding there will be school zones that will have slowdowns.
You know, we talk a lot about distracted driving, and that's a big piece. You know, put your phones away, put any other distractions away, and focus on the road. Be vigilant to your surroundings, and ensure that, you know, your commute is going to be a safe, enjoyable outcome for everybody in our community. And so it's so important that as we approach the school year, for parents to speak to your kids, and it could be something as simple as when you're heading to school, using crosswalks, communicating with drivers, you know, ensuring that you have that level of eye contact with an operator who's approaching a crosswalk before proceeding to ensure that they're coming to a full stop. You know, talk to your kids about parking lots. I mean, even the parking lots at schools are busy and have a lot of, you know, private vehicles as well as school buses, and it's important to recognize that even these areas it's important to be vigilant and aware of your surroundings.
What message do you have for students as they head back to class?
Oh, well, it's one of the best times, isn't it? I mean, getting ready, getting your new stuff, you're dressed up, you're getting out to school, you're seeing your friends. Some of them you haven't probably seen since last year. It's just a wonderful time. Enjoy it to the fullest, but also just be aware of what's going on. Be safe. You know, what I always told my daughter is when you go out the door, be safe first, have great fun after that. So we're wishing everybody a wonderful return to school tomorrow, and we can't wait to see the kids get back into the classrooms.
It's going to be an exciting day for sure. And moving on to some older students now. Today was orientation day at Memorial University. The event was packed with about 1,400 first-year students. They learned more about their chosen programs and were encouraged to meet some new people. Here's how it looked at the St. John's campus earlier today.
On behalf of the entire Memorial University community, I'm truly honored to welcome all of our new students to campus.
So this event today was academic matriculation and orientation for our new students. It brought together 1,400 of our brand new students, and I'm not sure if you could tell the excitement in the air. It was maxed out.
I'm very excited, nervous definitely, but I'm excited to meet some new friends and really get out of a small town.
What about you?
Yeah, nervous.
I feel like everyone should just be really open to every opportunity they are presented with and make friends and just have a great time at university.
There's so much at Memorial, and you think you know everything, and still I'm finding out so much more. So definitely check out your clubs and societies. This campus will be a buzz of energy for the next few weeks. So take advantage of everything that's here. All our students are gone off to their respective faculty orientations now, so they're learning about a little bit what they're going to study for the next couple of years. So really take those opportunities and take them up and learn as much as you can, make the connections that you can, and enjoy your next few years here.
Less than 2 weeks after CBC Investigates put a spotlight on staffing problems at Her Majesty's Penitentiary, government has announced new measures to retain correctional officers across the province. For the next 6 months, guards will get double time when working on their first day off, and officers who were full-time as of last week will get a $2,500 bonus. The Justice Department says recruitment efforts remain underway. Last month, defense lawyers painted a dire picture of conditions at HMP, describing a staffing crisis, extreme heat, and a rodent infestation. Judges have given inmates extra credit for time served just for living in those conditions. The RNC has arrested a man after he allegedly drew a gun on George Street early this morning. Police say officers responded to a call shortly before 1:30. When the officers arrived, an altercation had occurred and the man was restrained by private security after pulling out a weapon. The 21-year-old was arrested and charged with several firearms offenses. He appeared in provincial court earlier today.
It was a hot day today out there across the province. A number of records broken. In fact, Deer Lake, Stevensville cracking 30 degrees, and both of these areas haven't actually seen a temperature recorded around 30 degrees at all in August, ever recorded. And so you're seeing your first one in September, and breaking the record daytime highs anyway, your monthly records, but then you broke your daytime highs as well. So 24 degrees in 1981 for Stephenville, 26.7 in 1996 for Deer Lake, Corner Brook, Burgeo, St. Anthony, all feeling very summery out there. A number of other areas seeing some pretty nice temperatures as well. 25 in Cartwright today. The further east you go, though, Bonavista only 15 today, 18 in St. John's. The reason for that is the winds. We've got the remnants of what was Idalia to the south. It's just an area of low pressure at this point, but it is bringing some of that cloud cover, easterly winds north as well, which is why we are seeing some of that cloud cover and fog. But we'll get into how long this heat is going to last when I come back.
Thanks, Ashley. A Labrador gardening program has children getting their hands dirty digging in the soil. Some students on the South Coast are learning about gardening while also getting some lessons about climate change. CBC's Heidi Adder has more.
Adeline Jenkins needs two hands to hold up her watering can, but the 3-year-old has been keenly watching the garden in St. Louis.
A caterpillar is starting to grow, and next night, a teeny tiny little egg was on a leaf and rolled into a caterpillar and it hatched the caterpillar.
She's one of the kids who have been part of a new program this year in St. Louis, led by Cassandra Curl. She says it's important kids know how to grow their own vegetables. It's a life skill, but also a practical one with how the climate is changing.
Soon we're not going to be able to get everything that we need like at the store, and like it's going to be like we're not going to be able to afford it because with prices and climate change and everything going up. So it's really important for the kids and the youth to like learn how to do it.
Curl hopes to continue the program next summer and teach more kids about climate change and how to grow. Heidi Adder, CBC News, Happy Valley, Goose Bay.
Well, we gave you a taste of some Labor Day fun on last night's program, but we felt we had to show you more of the hot dog eating contest in Kitty Vitty. A few brave souls came forward to try to eat 10-foot-long hot dogs with the bun included. In the end, Kevin Mellinson accomplished the feat the fastest, and he had some words of advice for reporter Daryl Roberts.
So how this is going to work is they're going to eat 10 hot dogs, and whoever eats them the quickest wins. 3, 2, 1, go!
Go, you got it, man. You got it. You got it. It's all you, man. All you.
Immaculate. It's amazing. Yeah, lots of love. Everyone's having a good time. The vibes are very good.
I can't even get one down, man.
2015 national champ showed up, so I mean, I'm still rooting for Luke, but we'll see. I mean, there could be a sleeper here. There could be a sleeper win. We don't know. We'll see. The mind is stronger than the body.
You're so good.
How are you feeling right now? Terrible. Yeah. This is the worst I've ever felt, but it's so worth it. The trick is just never stop. Don't take breaks.
What's your message to someone who might want to reach these heights?
Just believe in yourself. You know, you can believe and you can achieve. Yeah, this is a lifelong dream of mine. So, yeah, it's happened.
Gonna wear that belt with pride?
I am. Yeah, maybe not today, but I'll wear it at some point.
Yeah. When's the next time you'll eat hot dogs, do you think?
But right away. Yeah, maybe later today if I can find any.
That was painful to watch. I can't even think about that. Anyway, we do have some cloud cover. We've got some showers working their way across, but we've also got probably some more record-breaking heat tomorrow. I'll get into all the details when I come back.
Well, Ashley, you're going to get to the forecast in just a second, but first you're going to tell us about this really weird cloud that was spotted in the skies over the Avalon.
Yes, lots of people sent me these clouds, and no reason, or I'm not surprised, because it looks really different. So what this is, clouds are made up of tiny supercooled water droplets in the mid to high levels. This is in the high level of the atmosphere, and that's really cold. The droplets are pretty unstable and they kind of flash freeze when disturbed. So often the disturbance will be a plane passing through the clouds, and they will introduce some ice crystals. So the supercooled droplets will freeze, and it kind of happens like a domino effect. They become heavy and they fall, and that's what you're seeing here. The hole in the clouds is those super cooled water droplets falling. So that's pretty interesting, very rare sight. So I'm glad that lots of you were able to see that and send those in. So this one was sent to me by Sandra Smith. So you enjoyed a beautiful day. Otherwise, yesterday, most of the weekend was beautiful. We've got a big ridge in the upper atmosphere, big high pressure, or ridge, I should say, in most of Atlantic Canada and most of the eastern portion of North America as well. Take a look at these temperatures. 32 degrees in Toronto today, 31 in Montreal. St. John's not so high, only about 18 degrees, but the rest of the province absolutely beautiful. 28 in Badger, 32 in Deer Lake, 29 in Stephenville. Definitely seeing some of those warmer temperatures even in the north as well. Happy Valley, Goose Bay, seeing a high around 25 degrees today. The reason for that, obviously, that ridge of high pressure bringing all of that warm air in there along a warm front there. But we do have that area of low pressure to the south, and that is spinning some cloud cover further north. And that will continue as we head through the night tonight. That's also why we're seeing those easterly winds and cooler temperatures. But that cloud cover is starting to work its way north across the province and pretty much going to stick around for a couple of days as well. But this heat will as well, which will be nice over at least the next 2 to 3 days for a good chunk of the province, but we're going to start to see a bit of a cool down up across Labrador. Already seeing that through Nain, Makkovik right now, but that warmth will head a little bit further north as we head through tomorrow. Here's your temperatures at the moment. Still 27 degrees in Corner Brook, a little bit of humidity in the air as well. Certainly for Gander, feeling more like 28. And if we take a look at the muggy meter, things are going to continue to be humid at least through Wednesday into Thursday. A little bit of dip as we get towards the weekend, but then it'll rise back up again, it looks like. Now for central portions of the island, much more humid, especially into tomorrow and Thursday before we see that big dip again as we head towards Friday and Saturday. Up across Labrador, your temperatures warm tomorrow, but then dropping as we head into Thursday. If we take a look at what's going on as we head through tonight, that area of low pressure spinning that cloud cover and shower activity, more like drizzle for most areas tonight. Across Labrador, beautiful evening expected. We're looking at temperatures staying quite mild again tonight as well, only into the teens. This is, only a couple of degrees from where we should be sitting as our daytime highs for this time of year. Generally light winds for most, and then up across Labrador between 12 to 16 degrees as your overnight lows. And again, some clearing skies. Now, as we head into tomorrow, most of us across the island will be seeing some cloudy periods. Sunny breaks as we get into the afternoon. Maybe even a few scattered showers, but the best chance of seeing some showers will be along southern areas of the island. And then for Labrador, most will see sunny skies through the day, but as we get into the afternoon and evening hours, especially towards the north coast, we will likely see some showers develop. This could be a few rumbles of thunder as well, and that will be the story for Lab West as you head into the evening hours and into the early morning hours on Thursday as well. And then we'll see more scattered or more widespread showers, I should say, across the island. Temperatures tomorrow, another hot one. Temperatures generally between 24 to 27 or 28 degrees through the day. Winds generally light. Along the south coast, you are looking at temperatures a tad cooler, 18 to 21. And again, that's where you're going to see more in the way of some fog patches and drizzle through the day. But look at the temperatures up across Labrador tomorrow, 32 degrees in Makkovik in the afternoon. And we're looking at temperatures between 27 and 29 pretty much across the board. So like I said, it'll be hot for you tomorrow. By Thursday, things will cool down. And then eventually we'll start to recoup some of that warmth, but we'll have to wait a little bit. I'll tell you all about it coming up.
Wow, well, despite all of those hot temperatures, many gardeners are looking towards fall planting. Today on The Signal, Munn Botanical Garden horticulturist Todd Boland offered up his expertise on when to plant those fall bulbs.
In the garden now, I'm already now thinking about the bulbs for next year.
Wow.
So, it's that time now. The box stores, the nurseries, they'll be getting in their tulips, the daffodils, hyacinths, anything along those lines. They should be arriving now any day if they have not arrived already. And, people think, you got to wait until, late October before you can plant those. But that's not the case. If you have the space in your garden, as soon as they come to the stores, you can plant them immediately. They will not sprout until next spring anyway. And the longer they're in the ground previous to the ground freezing, the stronger the root system they're going to develop, up to that stage. And the stronger the roots are on these bulbs, the bigger the blossoms will be in the following year. So things like daffodils, you can plant them in the garden now, and they'll start to produce their roots almost immediately. They still won't send up their shoots, though, until the spring of the year. But if you start them off early, you'll get super duper sized flowers. Whereas if you wait until like late October, then, they're only getting very short roots, then the ground freezes, and then they got to start putting that energy back into producing more growth once the ground thaws in the spring. And they really haven't had an opportunity to really build up that bulk of roots to really, flush out the leaves and the flowers for that season. So, one thing I think that gardeners need to know, especially if you're a new gardener, is don't necessarily put off planting your bulbs. You can actually plant your bulbs as soon as they come into the stores. If you have the space to plant them out, go ahead and do it immediately.
Mike is a husband. He is a father. He is battling cancer. He decided, I will not do this silently. I will fight.
A dramatic finish at the grueling Ironman triathlon in Sweden. We'll speak with Mike Daw about how pushing his body and mind to the max helps him cope with cancer. That's coming up.
Org.
The Ironman is an incredibly grueling triathlon, 15 hours of swimming, biking, and running. A Torbay athlete with thyroid cancer has just returned from Sweden after completing his 4th Ironman competition. I caught up with 37-year-old Mike Daw to find out how these intense endurance races help him cope with cancer physically and mentally. Have a look.
This is Mike Daw from Canada. Mike is a husband. He is a father. He is battling cancer. And Mike Daw from Canada, you are!
I'm so proud of what we have accomplished. An Ironman triathlon is a very long day in the office. It's a 3.9 kilometer swim over in Sweden that was in the ocean on a very windy, foggy day, followed by a 180 1/4 bike ride, followed by a 42.2 kilometer marathon run. I mean, it felt like I was out there for about a month and a half. It was very challenging weather on race day with the high winds and the fog and the rain, but all in all, I came in at about 15 hours, 22 minutes. And, you know, to be in the moment and realizing how special of an experience it was, oh my God, it was one of the greatest experiences of my life after marrying my beautiful wife and the birth of our kids, you know. I have no idea when the next one's going to be, but I mean, I can't wait to get after it. This is, I've fallen helplessly in love with this sport, and I can't wait to see what the future holds. I'm every imaginable emotion in the spectrum, you know, obviously coming home with a result from Ironman Sweden, that's amazing. And to take all this energy and excitement and positivity, and we go right into our next round of cancer treatment starting Monday coming. So my mind is right, my body is right. Let's tackle this face first Monday. It's been a wild couple of years, but I'm ready to finally, hopefully, put this to bed and get the W.
You received your cancer diagnosis a couple of years ago. Can you tell us about that?
Oh my goodness, I remember it like it was 10 minutes ago. You know, I was diagnosed with metastatic thyroid cancer on April 29th, 9:50 Newfoundland time, when my wife was 33 weeks pregnant. Flash forward a couple weeks, I had my first cancer surgery on a Monday. Beautiful baby Darcy was born that Saturday night. All of a sudden we got 2 very young babies in the house, and I'm upside down myself. It's been an absolutely wild couple of years because we've had, you know, multiple surgeries, multiple rounds of radioactive treatment, all kinds of scans, blood works. I've been a human lab experiment for the last 2.5 years, and this road has been way more stressful and long and bumpy than expected, but that's why I've had to certainly lean on the people closest to me. You know, I tell my wife 28 times a day that I love her. I hug the kids close and tell them how proud of them I am. I talk to my folks every day, things like that. You know, you hug it that much closer. The whole project of, you know, taking on another Ironman, that's how I've dealt with this, you know, by staying active. It keeps my body right. It keeps my mind right. You know, you're capable of doing very hard things. It's such an outlet to me as well, let alone it just, you know, keeps me focused towards working towards a goal. It is a very big project to take on. It is so much mileage and preparation and the grocery bill, my goodness. But, you know,
because you're eating so much to bring.
I am a bottomless pit, absolutely. But, you know, again, like, it just helps me keep my body and mind, you know, in a healthy place. I can't just sit home and be stressed to death and watch the clock tick for my next appointment. You know, we got to keep this moving. You know, again, I'm just trying to set an example as best I can for our kids about resilience and fighting back. You know, thyroid cancer is a very funny one. Everyone that tells me, oh, there's nothing to that, that's a good cancer, you know, I'm going to power bomb the next person that says that to me through a table. I'm so sick of hearing that. I don't want to be pitied. I never have been, but it hasn't been a-okay either. It's been a very challenging road, and the times when I'm in hospital getting isolation treatment or surgery or recovery from a med change, the hundreds of appointments. The list goes on. It's very challenging, and it has caused us so much stress, but also too to know that I can chart my course through this and seek the right treatments and see the right people. And despite all the setbacks, I'm very focused on, you know, overcoming this and moving forward. Triathlon has just been it's so much more than the numbers to me. Like, it's how I've expressed myself. It's how I've expressed my passion, my joy. I've always been a competitive amateur athlete my whole life, but to take on such a big project and such a big undertaking, you know, it takes a lot of commitment, and that's just what I've poured my heart and soul into. Because thyroid cancer is a long road. It's a hurry up and wait, and it's a long way between treatments. And again, I can't just sit home and wait for it. So this is how I've been dealing with it through the whole way. So, you know, I can't lie to you and tell you I'm not nervous about starting again on Monday. I've been hurt before here. So, you know, what can we control here? I'm going to keep moving. I'm going to keep my mind right. I'm going to keep, you know, the love all around me. And we're going to dive face first into this on Monday. I don't know where this is going, but I've said it before and I'll say it again. I don't know where it's going, but we're going to go there together.
Well, speaking of endurance, just have a look at this beautiful drone footage from the 11th annual Tickle swim that took place in late August. 12 brave swimmers took on the 5-kilometer swim from Portugal Cove to Bell Island. Supported by 12 kayakers and a support boat, the swimmers raised $46,000 for the Canadian Mental Health Association of Newfoundland and Labrador. full-day kindergarten in this province is still fairly new. It's something the Department of Education rolled out in 2016, but some smaller schools tried it out decades ago, and it was hotly debated at the time. Back in September of 1994, CBC reporter Juanita Berry went to schools in Peterview and Grand Falls, Windsor to look at the pros and cons of a full day. Have a look.
On a warm, sunny day, children in Peterview linger on the school playground, trying to squeeze in a few minutes of play before the school day begins. Once that bell rings, they know it'll be hours before they're free again.
Now, here, we're going to put these in order.
At this school, even kindergarten is a lesson in endurance. These children have to attend school all day, every day, Monday to Friday.
Justin, what letter do you have? M. Do you have the small one match it?
It's their first taste of full-time education, and they're getting it a year earlier than most children their age.
And what is it, David?
Most schools wait till grade 1 to introduce children to a full-day program, but teacher Maisie Sansom says there's no reason to wait.
Most of our children here have been in preschool and have been in this school setting. Some of the ones I have this year have been in for 2 years before they came here. You know, so they expect more when they come here. What comes after 4?
9, 5.
They may expect more, but they don't necessarily know more because they've been in preschool. Teachers here find that kindergarten children these days know less than children from just a few years ago. And they say that's the consensus among teachers right across the province. Sheila McKinnon-Drover is the principal at Peterview.
Whereas children came in before knowing their colours, able to count, knowing the alphabet, knowing their letters and so on. For, you know, a lot of them come in now not knowing that. And so, you know, they're certainly much more knowledgeable in other things. They may know how to work computers and they may, you know, but it's just a different, society's changed. And the children have changed too, of course.
Did little Bronto like to play?
Maisie Sansom says parents just aren't reading to their children anymore. Not now, when almost every home has TVs, VCRs, and Nintendo. She says children are so far behind, they can't possibly catch up if they're coming to school for only half a day.
Put your name on your paper.
At Peterview, they eased children into a full-day program. In September, students came for only half a day. The full day began after Christmas. But more time doesn't mean the children are swamped with more work. Like the half-day program, full-day kindergarten is still a blend of work and play. Children aren't taught any new subjects per se. They just have more time to spend perfecting the basics.
I'm not rushed to do things. Say, for example, printing, or teaching them to print their name, or, you know, before you were sort of rushed, oh, I got to get this done, I've got to get something else done, but now you can take your time. If you've got a child who's having a problem, you get more time to take that one aside and do a bit of extra work with them, whereas if you just had them in that half-day time slot, you would be pressed for time.
Maisie says the half-day system has other flaws. Children who come to school only in the afternoons are often shortchanged. They aren't as fresh, less energetic. They don't learn as easily. The children seem no worse off for the extra time at school. They aren't falling asleep at their desks. No one asks to nap. And given a choice, most prefer the new arrangement. You used to only come for a half day. Which did you like better now?
All day.
Why?
Because you do lots of work.
Do you like coming here all day? Why?
Fun.
You don't like the full day?
Half day.
A scattered child has had difficulty adjusting to the longer day. Michael Gunn is one of them. When it's time for lunch, he's gone like a flash. All the children are bused home for lunch. And home is where Michael Gunn would rather be. Michael is used to spending a lot of time at home with his toys and family. He never went to preschool or any kind of daycare. And his mom says he finds it hard to be suddenly thrown into a full day of school.
He's too hard to talk, and he's not going back in the afternoon because he had a hard day. And he'll go around the house, he'll be arguing with himself and really frustrated, right?
Why? Why doesn't he like it?
He just said the work is too hard, and I guess being cooped up in school all day, he's not used to being in the house so much, right? Because he was never in the house, he's out from daylight to dark almost.
But this little girl does like it, although her mother didn't think she would. 6-year-old Carla never went to preschool either. When she started school in September, she didn't know her alphabet and couldn't print her name. And her mother, Joy, saw no real progress until the school switched to full days.
And now she can print most anything, all of her letters and everything. She really improved in it.
Show them your letter.
The full-day program may get high marks at this school, but teachers here are the first to admit it won't work everywhere. Grand Falls Windsor is only 20 minutes from Peterview. It has a much larger population, so naturally there are more children enrolling in the kindergarten programs here. There are 33 kindergarten students at Notre Dame Academy, more than 3 times as many as there are at Peterview. But still, the school has only one kindergarten teacher. She takes half the children in the morning, the other half in the afternoon. Teachers here would prefer a full-day program. They agree more time has to be spent educating young children. But they say extending the school day is a waste of time if it means teachers will have 30 and 40 children in their class at once.
Extremely frustrating. You can imagine what it would be like to have 20.
Imelda Taylor is the vice principal at Notre Dame Academy. She says more teachers will be needed to keep the classroom size down.
If it's going to be done right, I think that first of all you would have to look at the ideal ratio, which is 1 to 12, certainly nothing greater than 15. And even within that, I would like to see support people within the classroom with teachers, and when I say that, possibly trained assistants in terms of early childhood education.
It seems a good full-day kindergarten program isn't cheap. Persuading government to fund the extra staff may be difficult, given the fact there's no proof the full-day concept actually works.
In studying the literature myself, there is really no research that comes down squarely on the side of an all-day kindergarten being much better in terms of child's preparedness for other grades.
Sheila McKinnon Drover isn't completely sold on full-day kindergarten. She's only had 2 years to observe the results, and she says it's too soon to say whether children are better prepared when they finally reach grade 1. She thinks government would be better off trying full-day kindergarten as a pilot project in just a few communities first, and experiment with other programs in other communities.
Think of some other ways of doing early intervention, such as junior kindergarten or preschool, all-day alternate days where they come every second day for all day, maybe toy lending or book lending libraries in certain communities. And after they've piloted that, then I think they would be in a better position to say which of those options was best for Newfoundland.
Those suggestions will be put to government by the Teachers Union. The NLTA is preparing a policy paper outlining how it would like government to implement full-day kindergarten. But for now, the government is steaming ahead with its own plan, and that is to introduce full-day kindergarten next year and to have school boards find whatever extra teachers are needed from within the system. For CBC News, I'm Juanita Barry.
The trial is now underway for the man accused of deliberately running down a Muslim family in London, Ontario in June of 2021. He's pleaded not guilty to multiple murder charges. The CBC's Chris Ensing has the details.
The accused stood before potential jurors today wearing black dress pants and an untucked dress shirt. Nathaniel Veltman did not speak as the justice read out the charges. 4 counts of first-degree murder, 1 count of attempted murder. He pleaded not guilty through his lawyers. He's on trial for the murder of 4 members of the Afzal family. Just over 2 years ago, the Afzals were out for an evening stroll near their home when they were struck and killed by a person driving a pickup truck. 15-year-old Yumna Afzal, her parents, Medea Salman and Salman Afzal, and the family matriarch, Talat Afzal, were killed. Police arrested Nathaniel Veltman in a parking lot nearby. Thousands marched and rallied in support of the Afzaal family and to denounce Islamophobia. A judge moved the trial to Windsor from London, the reasoning covered by a publication ban. The trial will be broadcast to a London courthouse, allowing people to watch. As a jury was selected inside, outside, members of the National Canadian Council of Muslims called for justice.
Ultimately, we are looking for justice for our London family and for our community to feel protected, to feel safe, and to know that our justice system will do what is necessary to deter this from ever happening again. This moment must be a catalyst for change so that all of us in this country feel safe just doing ordinary things in our communities.
The NCCM has called for more effort from the federal and provincial governments to combat Islamophobia and commit to promises made following the attack in London. Those calls echoed by the organization Canadians United Against Hate.
What we have called for repeatedly, both before and after this incident occurred, was for the federal government to undertake a nationally coordinated anti-hate strategy, coordinating with the provinces.
I'm going to be thinking about my kids for sure.
Here in Windsor, this organizer, who spoke at the annual walks to honor the Afzaal family, is bracing for a trial that may be re-traumatizing.
Really important to stay vigilant and to check on your Muslim neighbors or Muslim friends maybe, because a lot of feelings will be coming back with the trial being in Windsor as well.
Opening arguments are expected to start next week. Lawyers say that this trial could last 3 months. Chris Hensing, CBC News, Windsor, Ontario.
As the war in Ukraine drags on, there's word Russia is looking for new supplies of weapons, and it may be turning to North Korea. The New York Times is reporting that Russian President Vladimir Putin and North Korea's Kim Jong-un are set to meet in the coming weeks. CBC's Abby Kuathasan has more.
The Kremlin says there is nothing to say about reports that Russian President Vladimir Putin will welcome North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. U.S. media suggests Kim may take an armored train to Vladivostok this month in what would be his first foreign visit in more than 4 years.
Without Ukraine war, Russia would not care about North Korea, probably would follow the UN Security Council resolutions.
Both countries have denied that Pyongyang has provided Moscow with shells and missiles for its war on Ukraine. But analysts say Putin is turning to rogue states for weapons.
Would you go to North Korea for a reliable, accurate, up-to-date, modern supply of weapons? No. But Russia does not have any options left.
North Korea is cash-strapped. The economic picture has only worsened due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Kim is looking to improve the quality of his country's weapons, and Moscow may be able to help.
Kim also gets expertise, he gets an exchange of information, he gets an exchange of technology.
While Howell doesn't believe unconfirmed reports of possible naval exercises with China, he says these three nations are eyeing a common foe.
Now is a very ripe time, particularly for North Korea and for China and Russia, to show their common opposition to the United States, and particularly the United States alliances in Northeast Asia.
Howell says a face-to-face meeting between Putin and Kim upgrades ties, but it also underlines North Korea's foreign policy outlook is about getting what it wants when it wants it. Abby Kuathasan, CBC News, London.
Time for a look at the long-range forecast. I still can't get over those temperatures in Labrador, though. My goodness.
It is going to feel a lot like summer. Yeah, but like I said, going to change as we head into Thursday, but we're going to see a bit of improvement as we head into the long-range forecast. And speaking of the long-range forecast, just wanted to share with you a new tropical storm that has developed. Let's take a look at that. So Tropical Storm Lee is the newest, currently about 95 kilometers per hour wind gusts. But as we head through the next couple of days, into Friday, looking at a major hurricane forming. That's fairly quick. And then the NHC already predicting it being a Category 4 by the time we get into Sunday. So this one, long-range models kind of telling us that we should probably pay attention to this storm as well as we head into next week. But again, way too early to determine anything, but just letting you know that I am certainly keeping my eye on this one and will keep you updated as needed. Till we get there, though, it's going to be a bit unsettled, certainly Wednesday evening into Thursday. We're looking at the chance of some showers up across Labrador, periods of rain, in fact, for Lab West through central Labrador and then towards the coast. But this will just be showers across the island. Not saying you're not going to see any sun at all. Some of us may see some peaks of sun, but it will be unsettled right through the day on Thursday. We're going to hang on to the warm temperatures as well, mid to upper 20s for central, west coast and parts of eastern Newfoundland. Along the south coast, a little cooler than that. But there's that big dive in those temperatures, 8 to 10 degrees for most of Labrador along the straits. One more day, you're going to hang on to those warmer temperatures, about 19 degrees through the day on Thursday. As we get into Friday, again, still very much unsettled across the island. Another round of showers again for Labrador as well. And to the north, you're likely going to stay cloudy. You may see a few showers through the day, but yeah, those temperatures are going to stay cold, 9 to 12 degrees. This is when we start to see those cooler temperatures west coast through parts of central as well, 12 to 17 degrees through the day. Best chance of seeing the sunshine should be along the south coast of the island as we get into more of a northerly flow. That is also why we're seeing these cooler temperatures as well. Now, St. John's will hover around 22 for your Friday. Long-range forecast doesn't look too bad. Temperatures will be into the 20s. Saturday looks like we should see some clearing skies. Sunday, a mix of sun and cloud through the day. 23, 24 degrees through the weekend. Not too shabby, with your overnight lows between 15 and 16 degrees. And then for central and western Newfoundland, a little bit more rainy on Saturday. Sunday clears out for those of you through central. Sunday still looks a bit wet for the west. And then for Labrador, you're looking at your temperatures between 10 and 14 degrees in the long-range forecast. Same thing for western, with your overnight lows dipping as well. And it does look a tad unsettled. We should see some sun, though, for Sunday for western Labrador. Speaking of the sun, after a beautiful long weekend, this is Worsley Park at sunset. Justin shared this lovely shot with us. A lot of kayaking, I'm sure, happened this weekend. Nice. Last weekend of the food fishery. I finally caught my first fish this weekend. Oh, did you? Which was nice. Yeah, and if you have any weather photos that you would like to share with us, you can send them to nlphotos@cbc.ca.
Oh, that's gorgeous. And what a great forecast for the first day of school for...
That's right, first day of school.
Be a really nice day tomorrow. So that's a good start to the school year.
That's right. Lots of shorts, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, that's it for us on this Tuesday evening. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good night.